Today is Monday, April 10th, 2017, and this is the ServiceMonster Show. In this episode, we talk about the chatbot revolution. ServiceMonster is going to be in Clearwater, Florida at the end of the month, and ServiceMonster also gets its first official valuation. This week in social media, at the end of the month, April 25th through 27th, ServiceMonster is going to be in Clearwater, Florida for the experience. It's typically a restoration shindig, but I know they've been opening it up to carpet cleaners more and more over the last few years. We're obviously going to be there both showing ServiceMonster and talking about our upcoming restoration features. Come join us. I'm also going to be speaking Wednesday, the last day, 8:30, the 26th, talking about social media. If you've seen me before, this one might be a little bit different, so don't be shy, come on by. Facebook announced an artificial intelligence chatbot it names M. It's only available in Messenger, and it's there to provide you with helpful little suggestions. If you mention getting together with a friend, for instance, it'll prompt you to create a plan or an event. Obviously, that's new for Facebook. Chatbot's a thing, though, for a couple years now. The investment community is dumping huge amounts of financing into chatbot technology, trying to figure out a way to replace the human when it comes to some customer support issues. We've been trying to do that with IVR for years. I'm not a fan, never have been. There's nothing like that human touch, that human connection to understand the difference between the question you're asking and the answer you want, because a lot of times there is a big difference, especially in a tech company like ours. So you be the judge. Is it creepy or cool? I'm not sure. I like the adaptive helping hand, not necessarily the complete replacement. So that's kind of where I stand on the whole chatbot idea. This week in ServiceMonster. So my trusty right-hand man, Alex, is gone. He decided to up and take a vacation. So he's lounging around somewhere, not getting ServiceMonster work done. We wish him a great vacation and come back recharged so you can even do lots more work, Alex. Thanks. On Monday, new QA engineer starts, which is going to be exciting. Beefing up that team a little bit more. We're doing a lot more on the automation side of the world, so our testing after the developers have created a build. A lot of that stuff is being automated, which is great, but we also still need horsepower. We need people on it, clicking around and making sure that the bigger that ServiceMonster gets, the more testing that gets done. We also closed a deal on a new engineer, starts the 24th. We're excited to have him on board the mobile team. He'll go through the standard training process where he spends 2 weeks with support, either answering phone calls or sidecarring someone who does. We got our plane tickets all set for meeting Gary Vaynerchuk at VaynerMedia. It's June 26th. That's when we're going to be doing maybe some live stuff too, but we'll definitely be recording that whole experience and then creating some content out of that. So look forward to that. And the most exciting news of the week, guys, we've been talking to a company. We killed the deal, so I'll start with that. And I'm not going to reveal anything about the company or their plans or their strategy. That's kind of on them. But we received a for real offer, and we had a handful of conversations with them. We were prepared to fly out to kind of really talk about what we could do as far as offering them equity shares. And when it came down to it, they really needed a majority share in order to make their plan work, which the rest of us weren't all for. So we had some that we could relinquish at the end of the day. Just deal wasn't for us. But what we got out of it was, we know that we're valued at $10 million now, which is a great number for us to hit. It was something that's been on my mind for a while. Now to get that validation is a very cool thing for us and the team and everyone involved. So good work, guys. ServiceMonster 6 updates. So Randy has built out an engine that allows you to store the emails that you send out through ServiceMonster. An activity is created. We've always done that. And it just kind of mentioned that an email is created. Now, the content of that email and the attachments that were sent can be recalled from either the account screen or your email list or activity list in general. So long time coming there, and we're going to be moving towards more email client features, although we won't be a full email client ever. That's what Outlook and Gmail is for. Aaron is battening up the last finishing touches on a project that both him and David have been working on for text notifications. So the engine's complete, the vendor's been selected, the testing has been done, and now what we're doing is actually extending that out, that first text portion, to technicians. So instead of getting an email when jobs change, we're actually going to send the technician a text. So that will allow for quicker communications. Once we understand that it's working properly, then we can open it up to client communications, sending job confirmations before the job, and then maybe follow-up texts, encouraging them to fill out a review. Matt just recently finished up Google Calendar Sync. Got it to the QA team last week. They did some testing, found a couple minor things, but they're cleaning that up this week. And hopefully when Alex comes back next week, the next build that gets pushed will have that in it. And Matt is also currently working on expanding the job details on the schedule screen to be more like 5. I know I've talked about that in the past. They're finishing that up now, and I also hope that is in the release next week. Mobile 3 updates. Last week we released 2 releases because the first one didn't go so smoothly. There was a couple minor bugs introduced. Sorry about that. They got cleaned up and re-pushed last week on Friday. So I've got Lee focused right now exclusively on bugs. So he is just hunting and eliminating anything that they can find. They're starting to squeeze it out, which is nice, but I think that project needs a little bit more love. It's certainly usable. It's a great app. It gives you a lot of things that you can do, but if your internet connection is a little fuzzy, I think the data communication pipeline staggers a little bit. So things that we're looking at to fix, we're definitely aware of those issues, and please feel free to continue to feed those back to us in the Smug group. From everyone here at Team ServiceMonster, thank you so much for your support. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, sign up for the demo, give us a call.